In this video, I will go over the 6 most important habits of people who do not experience back pain. People who have not experienced back pain in their entire life and those who have worked their way out of back pain alike hold the same habits to make sure that back pain never comes back into their life and never shows up. The reality is, if you are in back pain right now, there are habits that you keep every single day that have led to your current state of pain. You have to become the person that can be free of back pain. And if you adopt these 6 habits, you will be well on your way. So let's get started. The first habit that people without back pain have is they are aware of the idea of neglect. Now I have a question for you. Have you heard people say, out of sight, out of mind? Right? Like if you don't have it right in front of you, it's out of your mind, you don't need to worry about it. It'll be there when you come back to it. In my opinion, it actually should be out of sight, out of mind, and it will get worse over time. Because anything that you neglect will get worse and worse over time no matter what it is. The law of entropy states that anything left unto itself will fall further and further into disorder. If you ignore or neglect your health by not exercising, you eat fast food every day, you regularly smoke, you regularly drink, you don't get outside enough, you will become unhealthy because you are ignoring, you are neglecting, you are putting your health out of sight, out of mind. If you ignore, if you neglect, if you avoid the weakness in and around your spine, which is the root cause of back pain, it will only get weaker and your pain will get worse. Now, it doesn't matter how many stretches you do. It doesn't matter what new contraption that you buy that you lay on, or this new posture thing that you strap onto the back of your chair to keep you in the perfect posture. It doesn't matter how much you rest. If you avoid the root cause, which is the weakness in and around your spine, I'm gonna say it again, it is the weakness in and around your spine. That weakness will produce more weakness, which will lead to more pain down the road. So people who are out of back pain, who don't have back pain, who have worked their way out of back pain, are aware of the principle of neglect. They understand that if they don't address their back, if they don't address their pain, if they don't address their weakness, it will get worse and worse over time. So that leads me to habit number 2. After they are aware of neglect, then they take action in response to neglect. Now, how do they take action? They put intention into the thing that they desire to get better. Well, what's intention? Now, intention starts with attention. So you have to give attention to whatever you want to give intention. Now, in order for attention to turn into intention, you need to put your time and energy into the thing that you desire to get better. In order to turn attention into intention, you need to give your time and your energy to the thing that you desire to get better. Oh my gosh, so good. If this is all you get out of today, oh man. That means that if you desire to get out of back pain, if you desire to stay out of back pain, it requires attention, time, and energy. And there's no way around it because this is how it's set up. God put Adam in the garden to keep and cultivate the garden. He put Adam in the garden to keep and cultivate the garden. Those two things take time and energy. He did not put Adam in the garden to sit and watch the garden. And that's so significant because God created us from the dust of the ground in the Garden of Eden. So we are a garden. Our body is a garden, and we are also the gardener. So people who do not experience back pain treat their body like a garden and use their time and energy to keep and cultivate their garden. They trade their time, they trade their energy, and whatever strength they have today to grow more strength in the future, which will keep them out of pain. And that leads me to habit number 3. People who do not experience back pain prioritize building strength. They use their time and they use their energy to strength train, to build the strength in and around the lower back and the spine. They take what's weak in and around the spine and train it until it's strong, until their pain starts to disappear. And the reality is, if the stronger you are, the less likely you are to experience back pain. Now, strength training isn't necessarily the only thing that helps pain disappear. Now, the fourth habit that people who do not experience back pain have is they prioritize flexibility maintenance. They prioritize flexibility maintenance. This is done by making sure that you build some strength in a stretched position. Now, this is a foundational principle in my training. This is a foundational principle in the ATG style of training, and people who are making fast, lasting, permanent changes to their state of pain, to their pain-free movement ability, which is their ability to move pain-free. Now, this is one of the most important concepts you need to understand to start getting out of back pain. This changed my life for the rest of my life, and this principle is stretch strength. This is such an important concept. Once I understood how to build strength in a stretched position, my back pain started to disappear extremely quickly. Now, I was in very intense pain, constant chronic pain for over 2 years. And in the span of 3 months, I was almost pain-free once I learned this concept. Now, there are some other strategies in the training that I did as well, but this is the most important one. Like, this is going to move the needle so much for you, okay? Because when you build your stretch strength, you exponentially increase your ability to resist injury. And here is how. I'll show you. I'll give you a quick example here. Now, when I bend over to touch my toes, my hamstrings, my glutes, my lower back need some form of strength to be able to handle my body weight in this stretched position. All of these muscles are stretched in this position. And if I don't have the strength to handle my body in this position, I'm at a much, much higher risk of injury when I have to go into this position in my daily life, to put my socks on, to put my shoes on, to pick something up off of the floor, to pick up my son, to do anything that relates to bending over. And maybe it's something that you aren't expecting. Maybe it's maybe you fall down, and when you get back up, you have to get into that position and lift yourself out of that position. Maybe you're not strong enough. That's such a big risk. One of the most important things is lowering that risk. The lower we can get that risk, the more strength that we can build in that stretched position, the less risk that we have when we get into those very vulnerable, stretched positions in our daily life. Another important thing is, if I am strong in this position, right, it's going to be a position that's safe in my brain. So throughout my daily life, I'm going to use this position more often, get those muscles stretched, use the strength of those muscles more often, which will allow me to keep my flexibility much longer, just based on the fact that I'm using it every day. And if that stretched position on the hamstrings, the glutes, low back were very weak, my brain wouldn't allow me to go into those vulnerable positions as often unless I had to. I would avoid those positions at all costs, and so I wouldn't use my flexibility. I wouldn't be able to maintain it. And that's very, very important for staying out of back pain, is keeping your flexibility, keeping your strength in those vulnerable positions. So to start building stretch strength, if I'm really weak in those positions, starts here with something like the elephant walk. Getting into that rounded position, using assistance So my body is strong enough to handle this position now because I take some of the weight of my upper body off of the lower back, the glutes, the hamstrings. I get into a position where I get some stretch, and I like doing 20 reps on each side, but you get some time in this position building strength in those muscles. And as you become stronger, as you become more flexible, you can lower the elevation that you use as you progress until you get to the point that you can get pretty darn close to keeping your palms on the floor. And then a good test is palms on the floor, getting both legs fully flexed at the bottom. Once you get through the elephant walk, you can start safely working on the Jefferson curl, getting more rounding involved and intentionally curling, stretching those spine muscles, getting into those deep glutes, those deep hamstring muscles in the bottom, and then pausing in that stretch and then slowly coming out using those muscles. That's going to start to build strength there. You can also go down, use your legs to take some pressure off of the lower back, glutes, hamstrings, whatever you need, but spend time in this stretched position. Slowly come out of it to use those muscles and to really build strength there. Make sure everything from the elephant walk all the way down to the Jefferson curl is pain-free. Okay, and then you can start adding some weight, right? Small dumbbell, 5 pounds. Like if I can use 1 pound here, maybe next week I can use 2 pounds, next week I can use 4 pounds, 5 pounds, whatever it is. Slowly build your strength in those vulnerable, those stretched positions. Okay, and my goal for life, is to drive back pain risk so far down that I have to get into a freak accident or have something like that in order to experience back pain again. And my mindset is to slowly, over time, progressing my strength until I am so strong that this is like so easy. Like I can hang out here, come out of this position, I can talk through it like there's no pain here. I can even drop into it and bounce, and there's no issues there. And the point is, if I can do that, how easy is picking up my son who's 30 pounds? Like this is 94 pounds. And I'm doing it intentionally, legs straight, getting into that very vulnerable stretch position. Whereas when I'm picking up something, when I'm picking up my son, when I'm putting on my socks, my shoes, like I'm not in that vulnerable stretch position. Even if I was, like picking up something from this position is so easy. And sometimes I even use it, right? And that'll help me maintain it as well. But my point is, doing things becomes so easy when you just progress a little bit every single year. Like I wasn't able to do this in 6 months after I started addressing my weakness in my spine. Like this took 3 years to get to. Rounding was so sensitive, but I took a step-by-step approach. I started with the elephant walk as much as I could. I remember that I could barely bend my spine forward, and I had to force my leg up to get my socks on and fight through sciatica to get my socks and shoes on every single day, and I could barely bend. So in that case, if I was to do it again, I would go to a position where I could tolerate, bend both legs, and straighten. This is a valid exercise, right? Every single centimeter that my shoulders are in front of my hips, the lower back muscles are more engaged. This is building strength. And over time, I just slowly progress and add weight, go to Jefferson curl until I am so strong that back pain is like completely out of the question. I know that was a little bit of a rant, but stretch strength, understanding it is so So important, so crucial for you to get out of pain. You need to apply it to every single area in and around the spine. You need to apply it to the inner thigh muscles, the outer thigh muscles, the front of the thigh, the hip flexors. You need to apply it to your lower back, your upper back. You need to apply it in and around the spine to protect your spine. Because the reality is, you can prioritize building strength. You can prioritize maintaining your flexibility. You can prioritize building strength to drive out pain and to become the person who does not experience back pain. Now, you may come up with a question. You may ask me, hey Max, how long will it take for me to get out of back pain? My answer is, I don't know how long it's going to take for you. I don't know how long you've been in chronic pain. I don't know if you suffered a really, really intense injury. I don't know how weak you are. I don't know how strong you are. I don't know how tight you are. But the most important thing to understand is this is the wrong question. It may take 1 month. It may take 10 years. It may take 15 years. The reality is you can get slightly better every single day and ever so slightly decrease your pain and increase your pain-free range of motion. You can regain a centimeter of pain-free range of motion every single day. Once you achieve a generally full range of motion, you can add 1/4 of a pound every single week. That's progression. And the thing is, you're gonna live that 10 years, you're gonna live that 15 years no matter what, right? You can either sit in pain, you can either sit in weakness, and let that weakness, let that pain turn into more weakness, more pain, or you can get slightly better over the next 10, 15 years. And who knows, maybe you'll be completely pain-free and maybe you won't. But the one thing that you can know for sure is that your ability will be better, your strength will be better, your pain-free range of motion will be better, your flexibility will be better, and your quality of life will be better because you will have less pain. And that's so important. Habit number 5 builds off of these 2 habits. People who do not experience back pain prioritize daily movement. Now, people without back pain move their body and move it often. They realize the importance of going on walks, hiking, playing around with their kids, their grandkids, their great-grandkids. They do something with their body every single day. And they make sure that their body gets better and gets what it needs every single day. They understand, this is one of my favorite sayings, they understand that movement is medicine, not ibuprofen, not Tylenol, not Advil, not steroid injections. Those things, relying on those pain relievers, even they don't have to be drugs, back braces, contraptions you lay on, posture devices, very specific sleeping positions, like those things avoid the root cause of the problem. They may give you some pain relief. Now, I'm not saying that those things are bad. By no means am I saying that those things are bad. Reliance on those things is a different story. Reliance on those things, especially when you are weak and you are not addressing your weakness, is a completely different story. But if you are regularly using these things, if you are relying on these things, and you're not addressing the root cause, that's a problem. Okay, now, the last habit that people who do not experience back pain have, and oh man, this is gonna ruffle some feathers. They value health more than their money. Now, as of right now, this may seem common sense to you, but I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean by this, because I guarantee that at some point in your life, and I'm gonna argue for most of you every single day of your life, you are saying that money is more valuable than your health, okay? People who are not in back pain, and maybe they've had it before or are preventing it from coming into their lives, will pay a premium price to learn how they can move or prevent pain using proven methods that they can apply to their everyday life. So what does that mean? That means that they pay a premium price for quality food. They pay a premium price for quality equipment, whether that's a home gym or the gym membership has all of the things that they need, right? They pay a premium price for education so that they can apply what they learned in their life. People pay for education. They pay to find out how they can get out of back pain if they are in back pain, or they're paying to find out how they can prevent back pain from coming into the future. Now, this can be in the form of a personal trainer. This can be in the form of a coach. This can be in the form of going to somebody who knows more than them about the spine and learning something that they can apply to their lives that can help them prevent back pain from coming into their lives. Now, let me make all of this very clear. People who do not experience back pain will pay to learn why back pain exists, what permanent solutions are, and what they can do in their daily life using their time and energy to do so. Okay. Because the reality is you have back pain because you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the skills you can apply to your life to be the person that isn't in pain. You are in pain because of the habits that you have in your daily life. Your past produces the result of your present and produces the result of your future. I'm going to give you a few bonus tips on what you can do that's not strength training, because I will cover a lot of strength training on my YouTube channel and all of the things that you need to do on that front. So right here, I'll give you a little bonus on the things that have worked for me, the things that have worked for my clients from keeping aches and pains away that are not strength training. So here are some things that you can do right now. And these things I have seen significantly reduce back pain in as little as 1 week. So here are some things. You can eat whole foods only. God gave us certain foods that are optimal for our body. He created meat, dairy, fruit, vegetables, grains, nuts, legumes, seeds in their natural form for us to consume for our body. And that's it. Anything else that goes down the hatch that is not a part of God's design will cause problems to arise, will cause things like arthritis, random aches and pains, a lot of other health problems like heart disease, cancer, diabetes, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. All of these things pop up because we are not following God's design by eating whole foods. Now, another thing that you can do that is not strength training to get out of pain is eliminate gluten from your diet. Anything with gluten in it has been historically fermented. This fermentation removes most of the gluten from the foods that we eat, like wheat. Most people eat more gluten than humans have ever eaten before. Now, this is a problem because humans have a very, very hard time, no matter who you are, digesting gluten. And this can cause a lot of inflammation, even if it doesn't cause any gut problems for you. This can cause a lot of inflammation, and eliminating gluten alone can significantly reduce your aches and pains, especially your back pain. Next thing that you can do is drink enough water with some form of electrolyte. Now, what I like to do is I add a pinch of salt to all of the water that I drink. What works well for me and for my clients is 1 ounce of water per pound of body weight. That seems to work very well. Salt your water, salt your foods. Salt is good for you. Don't be scared of it. It's good for you. Don't worry. Another thing that you can do, you can go on 2 15-minute walks per day. Now this is huge because this gets the blood flowing through your body, and that gets enough blood flow to decongest all of your tissues, get the blood flowing, drive out inflammation, and this can help significantly with back pain. It also gets those muscles in and around the spine working a little bit, can open them up, help you feel a little bit better. Next thing, now you're probably not gonna like me for this one, just like you probably don't like me for telling me that you should eliminate everything except whole foods. So next thing, it's a big one. Eliminate alcohol. This is a poison. You are not meant to drink in moderation by having a glass of wine or a drink every night. Now, alcohol is a very controversial topic because it is a drug, it is addictive, and people think that it's okay to have quite a bit of it. Another thing too is society blames alcohol for the problems that it causes. Society uses the term alcoholism. That's a disease. Oh, it happened to me. It's a disease. Alcoholism runs in the family. No, it's drunkenness. This alcohol creates drunkenness. It's not alcoholism. It's not something out of our control. It's completely in our control. The thing with alcohol is it is a poison in your body. It causes a lot of inflammation. And if you're drinking too much, now I'm not saying eliminate it from your entire life all of the time. All right, we're back for the last couple points. Now, I forgot to move the camera up, but I don't necessarily have the time to do all of that again. So we're gonna come back here and I'm gonna make this last point about all of this. Now I recommend doing all of this for 30 days. This is not an end all be all. You don't have to live like this, but the point is you have things in your life that are causing your back pain. You have habits that are contributing to your back pain. You need to figure out what those are. This is a great way to eliminate all of the factors that can contribute to your pain. Stick to the 30 days. You'll feel amazing after it's over, and you will be able to add in things and see what causes inflammation, what causes pain to come back or to worsen. So I recommend giving this a try. And honestly, it might change your life. It changed mine in many other ways, especially with my digestion and all that stuff. So with that said, I hope this video has helped you get a look into the 6 habits of people who do not experience back pain. Please like, subscribe for more content like this. Please share this with a friend who needs it and they need to adopt these 6 habits. And I promise you, if you adopt these habits, along with doing some of this for 30 days, your back pain will start permanently disappearing from your life. I'll see you in a future video. Take care.